Welcome to this explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to level up your digital literacy, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking that intimidating tech alphabet soup and turning it into your own personal digital superpower. We're going to decode the most common computer acronyms out there, and I promise you, by the end of our time together, you'll be reading tech specs with absolute total confidence. Let's get right into it.
So, have you ever felt completely, hopelessly lost reading a laptop spec sheet? Or maybe you've tried to troubleshoot your Wi-Fi only to get hit with this massive wall of capital letters that looks way more like a secret code than, helpful instructions. It is an incredibly relatable frustration. But here's the good news, knowing these terms isn't just for IT pros. Understanding these acronyms will absolutely save you money when you're buying new devices, save you time setting them up, and for sure save you countless headaches when things go wrong. Here is the roadmap for our tech tour today. First, decoding the alphabet soup. 2. Inside your physical machine. 3. Connecting to the world. 4. Software and programming brains. And finally, number 5. Emerging tech of tomorrow. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Decoding the alphabet soup.
Mastering these acronyms is just incredibly practical. Tech engineers, for whatever reason, seem completely allergic to using full words. Everything gets shortened. But if you just treat these terms as a brand new vocabulary, kind of like learning a new language, you're going to gain total confidence in your daily digital life. You won't just be blindly pressing buttons anymore. You'll actually understand what the machine is doing behind the scenes.
Moving right along to Section 2, inside your physical machine. Let's look at hardware and storage. All right, so here are the foundational physical pieces of your computer, the stuff working right under the hood. First up, the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. Think of the CPU as the head chef in a busy kitchen. It directs all the operations, crunches the heavy calculations, and basically tells everyone else what to do. Then you have the GPU, the Graphics Processing Unit. Now, if the CPU is the head chef, the GPU is the dedicated artist, tasked exclusively with calculating and pushing those really beautiful, smooth visuals to your screen. And speaking of screens, those visuals get sent to your display, which is typically an LCD, meaning liquid crystal display, or an LED, meaning light-emitting diode. Now, let's talk memory, specifically RAM and ROM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. Going back to our kitchen analogy for a second, RAM is your temporary active workspace. It's the kitchen counter. The more RAM you have, the more ingredients and cutting boards you can have out all at once without things slowing down. But, and this is key, when you turn the computer off, that counter gets wiped completely clean. ROM, on the flip side, stands for read-only memory. This stuff is permanent. These are the hard-coded instructions that tell the machine exactly how to wake up and start functioning the very second you press that power button.
A really crucial point here is understanding how memory actually differs from storage. And that brings us to HDD versus SSD. When you're out choosing a new laptop, you're usually choosing between an HDD, a hard disk drive, and an SSD, which is a solid-state drive. The HDD is the older mechanical tech with these spinning physical platters. It's great if you need super cheap, massive storage. But the SSD? That is the modern standard. Actually, it's a real game changer because it has 0 moving parts, making it incredibly fast, super durable, and way more energy efficient for your long-term storage.
So, to get all this physical hardware talking to each other, you rely on a few key interfaces. USB, Universal Serial Bus, is that totally familiar port you plug your mouse or flash drive into. Meanwhile, the BIOS, the basic input-output system, is that fundamental layer that gets all these physical parts, the CPU, the RAM, the USB ports, the whole shebang, talking to each other successfully the absolute second you power on the device.
Now, let's build a bridge to the outside. Section 3, Connecting to the World, looking at networking and the internet.
The absolute foundational concept of networking is just understanding the scale of your connection. A LAN, local area network, connects the devices inside your own home or a single office. So your laptop, your wireless printer, your smart TV. A WAN, however, a wide area network, is massive. We're talking sprawling across entire cities, countries, and continents. In fact, the internet itself is quite literally the ultimate WAN.
When you're navigating that massive WAN, you enter the web ecosystem. The World Wide Web, the WWW, is basically this giant interconnected web built with HTML, or hypertext markup language pages. Now, to find one of those pages, you need its exact address, right? That's its URL, or Uniform Resource Locator. Once found, that page is beamed straight to your screen via HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Oh, and ideally, you want an S at the end of that for secure, HTTPS.
So how do you actually get access to all of this in your day-to-day life? Well, first, you pay your ISP,
your internet service provider. They grant your home an IP, or Internet Protocol address, which identifies you on the network. You usually connect your devices to this via Wi-Fi. And here's a fun fact for you. Wi-Fi doesn't actually stand for anything. No way, right? It's a total myth that it means wireless fidelity. It is literally just a catchy trademarked name. Anyway, when connected, your computer uses DNS, the domain name system, which acts like a massive digital phone book to find the right website address. And hey, if you want to keep all that browsing activity completely private and secure from prying eyes, you fire up a VPN, a virtual private network.
Moving on from the physical and network layers, we hit Section 4, Software and Programming Brains.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding the OS, or operating system. Because without it, all of that incredibly expensive hardware we just talked about, the CPU, the RAM, the fancy SSD, it's practically useless. The operating system is the fundamental master software that manages the physical hardware and all your other software apps. It's essentially the core environment where everything else lives, breathes, and functions.
And sitting right on top of that OS is the GUI, or Graphical User Interface. This is the brilliant visual layer that you and I interact with every single day. The GUI uses windows, icons, and menus so you can simply point and click your mouse. I mean, it literally saves us all from having to type out complex lines of text code just to open up a standard PDF, which, by the way, stands for Portable Document Format.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens behind the scenes. Apps talk to each other using an API, or Application Programming Interface. Think of an API like a highly efficient digital waiter. The waiter takes your order, a request from your app, carries it back to the kitchen, which is a database, often managed by SQL or structured query language, and then quickly brings the data right back to your table.
Finally, we pivot to the future in Section 5, Emerging Tech of Tomorrow. Let's look at the tech horizon.
All right, let's do a rapid-fire rundown of the tech horizon. First up is AI, artificial intelligence, referring to computer systems designed to mimic human cognitive functions. A massive subset of this is ML, or machine learning, where machines are literally trained to learn from data and improve over time, completely without human programming. Then, moving from smart machines to immersive digital interfaces, we have VR, virtual reality, which completely immerses you in a fabricated 360-degree digital world. And finally, AR, augmented reality, which overlays digital info and graphics right on top of your view of the real world. Put it all together, and these represent the undeniable future of computing.
And there you have it. You have successfully decoded the alphabet soup. You now possess the knowledge to read a spec sheet, understand your home network, and troubleshoot like an absolute pro. But, as AI and AR continue to evolve at lightning speed, entirely new languages of tech are being written right this very second. So, what new acronyms will you have to master tomorrow? Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you on our next explainer.